And again, I created the Joint Task Force on School Overcrowding. Overcrowding was a very, very big issue, particularly in the fast-growing areas of western Dade County. And I put together that task force, brought Commissioner Gabe Sorensen along with me to that. And as a result of that, there were urban development guidelines that were created and other things that tried to create a better balance between development and, well, actually to create balance where you have development that was also supported by infrastructure, schools, parks, and roads. So those are some of the things that I worked on and worked on effectively as a county commissioner. And I know Roger, I guess, was in Miami Beach at that time. Was that when you were in Miami Beach?
Miami Beach was almost 40 years ago.
So it was, you were in the county already, or you had already left the county? But whatever, but Roger was around. Merrick Stearheim, who is a very good friend of Roger's, and all those people who saw me work when I was on the Board of County Commissioners would tell you that I was an effective commissioner. I left the commission on my own volition. I didn't, I chose not to run for re-election. I never wanted to stay there for 20 years or more than 2 terms. So I stayed for 2 terms. I did run for mayor. I wasn't elected mayor, and I've been in private practice as an attorney for the last 10 years. And I'm running for Senate because I think that we need somebody in Tallahassee who can work effectively. It's not enough these days to say, well, I'm in favor of this or I'm against this. It's important to be able to say, I'm in favor of this and I got it done. I was able to deliver. I was able to work effectively and work well with others and build consensus. And that's what I've done. That's what I did in the time that I was on the county commission. And that's what I think I can bring to bear in Tallahassee. I think my experience on both the public and the private sector side give me a balanced perspective. And so I plan to bring that and track record of effectiveness to Tallahassee, and I think that's what distinguishes me from my opponent.
We need to closing remarks.
Well, I need to follow with this guy. I'm not an attorney. I'm only a plain firefighter. Basically, we got to talk about working effectively. He knows what I know in Tallahassee. I'm a member of a very select minority. I'm the only Cuban-American Democrat in the whole legislature, both houses. With that said, I've been able to work in the middle to pass legislation for other members of the minority party have been able to pass. My colleagues of the Dade delegation for 3 years in a row, they have elected me vice chair of the delegation. I have worked very hard to bring the delegation together. This last year we have one of the most successful years we ever had. 4 years ago they were fighting, with his brother is there, and again, this is something that I did this year. I passed the only animal protection bill in the whole house. That was the horse slaughtering bill. You heard about it, all the horses that are being killed in Dade County. Okay, I passed legislation that would enhance the penalties for that. I passed legislation that would give the Department of Government Justice the power to mandate medical care for the children on the daycare before they used to subcontract to private companies and they couldn't do it. That's what the legislation. The year before, I passed legislation for protecting nurses and protecting paramedics and first responders, making mandatory for if you have significant exposure, you can test our blood, and that will be the legislature of the year for the Nurses Association. I go back to my days of the commission with my wife, Roy, in 1994, I know you were there, but that's when you promoted me to assistant chief. I passed on landmark legislation at the city level. I passed legislation to provide minimum wage, to provide domestic violence benefits, to provide the domestic violence registry, I'm on some of the other. I was there for 7 years. So I have done it. I have been able to do it probably better than some of my colleagues coming from minority party are working together. I have a history of working together, and I hope you will re-elect me in November. I will have a position on the primary. There are 2 gentlemen that are fighting out for the right to lose against me. God bless you all.
Well, let's give ourselves we thank the volunteers who filmed and would have tried to keep time on everybody. We had to change the format a little bit. Let me thank the candidates, all the judges who are, or wannabe judges who are here. What a wonderful country we live in, that people can put themselves out there, can run for office, that they're willing to come out and listen to the candidates. And thank you all for coming. I also want to thank our partners in this, Miami Neighborhoods United, who co-sponsored this, the Urban Environmental League as well. So thank you again.
Guys, I'm not saying, you know, I'm the only one crazy enough on my literature. That's my home address and my telephone number. You can call me if you want. I'm just going to hand it for it.